Hello, I'm Tim Beggins, President of Elk Trading Company. Today's weekly recap of natural gas. Natural gas prices for the new March contract are down 3.7 cents, trading at 301, or a little over 1.21%. As you can see from the daily continuation chart here, the uptrend, which has been intact since late September of last year, has now broken with a large roll gap between the February and the March contracts, basically on warmer weather as we progress out of winter. Let's take a look at the March contract. Again, prices are down a little bit here to 3.005, or down 4 cents, or a little over 1.38%. As you can see, we're holding above the daily pivot at 297.5, with our next pivot resistance at 310.70 and above that at 318. Below this, the secondary support would be at 290 and 2 ticks, and well below that it would be 277. The prices have retreated as the colder weather has abated. As you can see in the forecast, we went as high as 3.778 on the March contract, and we're down around 20% losses since then. Let's take a look at the hourly chart for March. As you can see, we can not break out on the 30th, which was yesterday, above that 50% of the range between the two pivots, between 318 and 331.20. That 50% was exactly 3.246. And our high for the session right there was 324. So we were just about 6 ticks away from getting above the 50% level, that range gap. So look at prices. What happened? Went back to the pivot here at 318 and then decisively broke lower. And we've been trending lower, heading down through the daily pivot at 310.70 and now holding above the first major pivot support at 297.5. So we'll look to see if things consolidate here, but the RSI is telling us that this will be an area for some consolidation through this session. And we'll look to see if the forecast continues to hold with much above normal temperatures, which it does show for 2 weeks. But there are hints that maybe at the back end of February, there might be some colder temperatures. Let's take a look at the weather. The global map. There still is a large pool of cold Arctic air across Siberia, over the Arctic Circle, and into Canada. But as you can see, it has a more easterly tilt at this stage and no longer possesses the ability to push very far into the US Midwest or into New England or the mid-Atlantic states at this point. As we go through the model, as you can see, there is a shot into the Rockies here on Monday, but warmer temperatures are now surfacing across the entire south and southeast from Texas all the way through Florida. In fact, Houston is going to reach 80 degrees early this week on both 2 days. As you can see going forward, that cold air is centered mainly across the Hudson Bay through Greenland area, but lacks a decisive mechanism to push much further south. Let's take a look at the US in particular. As you can see right now, colder temperatures are completely contained inside Canada and are struggling to push further south. As you can see on the weather maps, warmer temperatures start showing up into Sunday, into Monday, really warm on Monday into Tuesday. And again, that cold Arctic air tries to make a run for New England, the Great Lakes, but is just not able to do so. As you can see going forward, this forecast basically holds for 2 weeks. Let's take a look at Europe. Europe is slightly different. In fact, cooler temperatures are now going to be forecast to come in decisively next Wednesday as Eastern Europe and Turkey decisively get colder than normal. As you can see, this continues to go forward for at least the next week, possibly 2 weeks. Let's take a look at the wind. With that cold Arctic air basically bent on the eastern side of the Hudson Bay and Greenland area, it is pushing these vortices across the Atlantic with high winds now forecast decisively across into Ireland, England, and parts of Scandinavia. As you can see, these vortices continue as we progress through the forecast. And so we'll look to see how power prices will react with the colder temperatures but higher wind speeds. Let's take a look at Asia. Asia, well, pretty much the same. The cold Arctic air is confined to Siberia, but we do see shots of colder air starting to dip a little further south into the eastern provinces of China as we progress into next week and into the following week after that. There does seem to be much cooler temperatures around September, February, excuse me, February, Saturday the 8th. This continues for a little bit, but we do see warmer temperatures in the forecast later on. So let's take a look at the stock performance for the last week. As you can see, for the oil and gas E&P sector, it's a sea of red. Almost everything is negative on the week, with our largest losses here, Devon down 5.62%. And this is a remarkable Texas Pacific Land is finally negative on the week, down over 5.5%. Let's take a look at the midstream sector. This sector is down as well, with Williams down 6.55%. There is some slight positives here in the tanker group. So again, let's take a look at that March contract to recap. Prices are down about 3.5 cents to 3.012 and or 1.15%. Things look to be consolidating into the week, but we do have warmer temperatures, at least for the first 2 weeks going forward, with a hint of colder temperatures at the back end, which may hold and support prices. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.